Yes, indeed. Another episode. But like live, got some topics. We got some things we're gonna talk about.
All
You know,
right.
you
That's what's
ready?
up.
We got Malika in the house, and we got
Hello,
Pat,
everybody.
Hey.
and we about to talk about some things, y'all. We about to definitely get in some things. We're gonna give y'all. We gotta babysit our people. We gotta watch our people. We can't let the white media take over and give they make it what they want it to be. I forgot the word, but you know what I mean. we gonna speak the real. So here we go. We got Malika in the house and
Greetings,
Pat.
everyone.
Okay, we got 9 people just jumped in, but check this out. Let's talk about Trey Songz. You see him in the media. He had some issues in the past, and we know he had a lot of issues, like a lot of our artists that come out of these urban areas who may not have the guidance and certain and he got issues with girls apparently. Nia Malika, what you know about this? The Trey Songz.
Yeah, man, I've been doing some research and I've been coming up with several different stories. Like the stories just keep piling in on Trey Songz. You know what I'm saying? And it's really sad that one of our own is acting foolish. And the only thing that I want people to remember is to consider from the perspective of holistically as a Black community, we have always been targeted. And there may
Mm,
be things that are still happening out there in other communities that aren't being said. So when we get a little money, we become vilified. And it makes it very easy. They make it very easy as if it is.
hold up, Malika. When you
Nope.
grabbing bras off of girls and peeing on girls, ain't no vilify. You vilifying yourself. This dude is wilding out here, man. I'm sorry.
And
Come on.
I'm not disagreeing that he's out there acting foolish. But on the flip side, let's just bring all this crap to the forefront, right? So we're only getting half the fucking story. We're not getting everybody's free story. Now, from the stories that I've seen, I agree. Trey Songz needs to learn how to respect women. Because if he had run into a chick like me, I probably had to bust him upside the head. But that's just me. Some of these
That's
other
the
women are
problem. That,
too.
that's the problem. To
Go ahead.
me, the girls know the position they're putting themselves in, and they're there at the party. I read the last problem he got into, and I
Ma,
guess
your
he
sound is bad.
exposed
Something going on.
his breast or something. But this like happened 9 years ago.
See?
She was there. That was the
It's
atmosphere that they
2013,
put
right?
themselves in.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
everybody was grabbing, everybody was doing what they do.
And
And
you
Trey,
can't be grabbing these females and taking their titties out and going crazy. You can't do that. I don't care about the she was there at party, but at parties you can't do that type of stuff. Come on, man.
he should
yeah,
have
but
got
you need to
that.
know what you're getting
That's
into
what
like that.
women
As
need
like
to
you were saying,
stand up and place them in their place. That's then, not 9 years later, when they
Mm,
do it. So don't
that's a
wait
good
nine
point.
years later and come out with it. I mean, that should
Shout
have
out
been
my
exposed when he did that. She stood there, she took it, she laughed. She should have smacked him in
yeah,
and made
I
it an
agree with
issue.
you.
So
You don't
wait,
wait years.
in the article they're saying that she didn't look happy. She left and she didn't look too happy about it or whatever, but she didn't react, I guess, but she didn't look happy. Mia, did you read that, Malika?
Yeah, I did. I did. And look, a lot of these women before they go to
Uh-oh. You hear him? I don't hear her.
Mm-mm. Lost her.
We lost your sound. But see, I can't agree with like, oh, she in the party environment and that anything goes. Nah, because you got to respect these women, or else. And she was a white female. I don't, we're not racist enough, but
I think
hold
they
up,
need to stand up when it happens. Let it be known when they do this.
something
To
going
me,
on.
they
We got to
wait
get some.
years later for them to get a little change and they want to sue. Just like
I
Bill
don't hear her.
Cosby. Why you going man damn near dead? They should have brought that up when it happened.
Yep, you're right.
Exposed him. They could have saved a whole lot of other women.
That's a fact. Hold on, Malika, unmute your mic. We don't hear nothing you saying.
Oh, y'all didn't hear nothing I just said, did
You didn't hear none of that. You gotta say that again. Mom made some good points too. I mean, Pat.
I'm sorry. Basically, I was agreeing with Najuma, talking about like the Me Too movement and how people came out like years and years and years later to be like, oh yeah, such and such grabbed my butt, but I got the movie and I'm a star now. But you didn't say nothing back then. So I agree with her on that point. But no does mean no. And if these females articulate in some form, this is inappropriate. You should not be doing this. Get off of me. She made no reaction. She stood there. She let the man tear down her bra, you know, and I was in shock. I get it. But you also knew who you're dealing with. It's not like Trey Songz doesn't put these women on videos half naked. You know what I mean? You know he wants to see you half naked. And he's a sex addict on some level.
Exactly.
He needs some help.
I mean, I've been when I was younger, but there's a way a woman, you look at dude and let him know. Don't even think about it. There's a way you can give them the message. Don't even think about it. And they will back off. But if you're going to stand there and laugh and giggle and play along with it, yeah, they're going to take it a little further and a little, you know, take it to where they can. Those mans, you know, you got to stop them in their tracks. You know, my daddy taught me years ago he kicked a man if he ever tried something stupid, you know. And you know, you just gotta stop him and then know I ain't the one. And they will back.
I will say on the flip side. On the flip side of that. Oh, go ahead. What were you saying, Bull?
Out of here. Out. Malika, you were saying something?
Yeah, I was gonna say on the flip side of that stuff, there's a self-esteem issue. Especially within the African American and Latino community, right? Because we've always been told that we're not pretty enough, we're not good enough, we got to do this, we got to do that. While they running behind us and getting the injections and getting the lips done and getting the butts done and getting all this stuff done so they can look like us.
Right.
But
trying to look like
us. But we still are dealing with 400 years of oppression where we don't consider ourselves beautiful. You know what I mean? They would allow men to rape. A black man had to stand there while his wife was being raped by a master. You know what that does to somebody's mental capacity? Right. We're talking about 300 years of that.
Yeah. Hold on. Here we go.
Did not have a dad in the home. You know why? Because he was in jail on some bum crime, or he was doing something, you know, or he decided to leave, whatever the case may be. But a lot of times they don't paint the right picture of the black community. We
not at all.
Part of family.
Malika, that's a show. That's a whole show in itself right there. And you're right. You know what I mean? But we about to go, you know, you about to evoke some feelings. So let me hold up. Let me fall back. And so the next topic, what we say? We said, what's the next topic?
Brittany Grenier.
Oh, yeah. And Russia. Got caught with a little bit of oil. Little bit of weed oil. Which she was, don't get me wrong. I feel like she was stupid for bringing that shit out there. But at the same time,
she deserved life in prison?
So what's the detail? What's going on with that, Malika? I did some research, but let me hear what you.
I wasn't able to get through too much, but I do know that the Americans just did a swap with the Russians for prisoners, and Brittany was not one of them. And so that shows me that this lady has been elevated, and she's given so much to this country on such a high level. You know what I mean? She was going to the Olympics, for God's sakes, or she went to the Olympics. Isn't she a gold medal winner? Yeah. So she went to the Olympics. She represented us, and they still left her to rot. Who did they let out?
They let out somebody else, and I just read about it too. It's crazy because it's like, why wouldn't? Because she didn't get caught. It wasn't like nothing serious. It's like, come on, man. A little bit of oil. She's been in there for some months now too.
That has been basically lied upon for so many years. You know what I mean? And a plant that has been vilified, and there's a stigma that comes along with that.
This dude can't wait. He said, because Brittany case is still being heard. Yeah,
I can't wait either.
At the same time, she's still in prison, and out there in Russia. You seen? I don't know if y'all watched that Locked Up Abroad or whatever, but
I watch that all the time. That's not a place to be. I mean, as much as I bitch about being American, I don't think I'm going nowhere no time soon. Let's just keep it a buck, man. Until we repatriate and everything is done properly, I ain't going no goddamn way. I'll be right here. But yeah. She needs to have I really do hope that we realize that she too is an American and that she deserves rights as everybody else. I understand we don't negotiate with terrorists, but we did already. So let's bring our sister home.
Can't Wait said they released the ex-Marine, basically time served. So he did his time and they released him, I guess. I don't know. I'm gonna look it up, but that's what.
No, I'm looking out on the comments as well, and we appreciate that information. Can't wait. Excuse me. Yeah, but that's just crazy. They need to bring that young girl home. Because it just says weed oil. Do we know if it was CBD oil? She may have used it for her joints.
I hope it was a mistake because let's agree that was stupid as hell.
No, if she bought a vape,
playing with them people in Russia.
Yeah, if she bought a vape to Russia, she's screwing up. But if it were CBD oil, because they classify all of that as weed, then they're doing her a disservice. Well, either way it goes, they're doing her a disservice. She's an American. She fought. She did something great for our country. We basically, we took her Olympic medal and we're running with that around our necks while riding on her back, right? But we can't help a sister out.
And now,
epic fail, America. Epic fail.
And with the war with Russia and all that, it's not a good time to be out there as an American. You know what I mean? So imagine.
And we did mess up at the wrong. And as Can't Wait said, he said, but she messed up literally at the wrong time, and it was the wrong time to be involved in something like that. But did she really know that Russia was going to bomb Ukraine? I mean, she ain't in no G2 briefings. So because of that, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. And it's sad that we as Black people always have to be on our P's and Q's no matter where we go. You know what I mean? We always got to take it up a step up.
Yeah, but she shouldn't have been carrying that shit. Sorry.
Exactly. She shouldn't have been. But for us, it had it been Barron Trump, do you think he would be locked up?
They say it's not that simple to get her back. Our hands are tied. You seen that?
Yeah.
That's what wait. No,
yeah. They're making an example of young Brittany. They really are. And it's sad. It really is sad. It really is. And I mean, all we can do is press our government to try to do something. So write your congressman, write your senator, get involved if you can. But that's about all we can do. Because let's face it, she's on foreign soil and she's in jail on a foreign soil. And you see them locked up for rods. They come for all Americans because for some reason we're not liked around the world. I don't know why.
I think you do know why.
I'm just saying. I mean, it don't matter what color you are. If you're watching Locked Up Abroad and you American, you wouldn't. Hey,
it's an ugly situation for you. That's a fact.
It is. It really is. It really is.
But she bigger than most of these motherfuckers. So
well,
she
we'll
probably
see.
in there.
And that's what I'm saying. That she's she is. I mean, we're genetically built differently. So you're right. She is. And that's cool in the game. Because, hopefully she can protect herself, if nothing else. And depending on where she grew up, But hopefully she don't catch another charge in the case of doing that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just a fine line she got to walk.
Man,
and it's really unfortunate.
It really is.
Yeah.
In America, another reason why they hate us, well, a lot of people, they criticize us, the gun violence and things like that out here, Chicago, Philadelphia, dudes getting killed by guns, young dudes. New York is getting bad too, let's be honest, even though the crime rate is way down, but still with the gun violence is way up.
Oh, so we jump the gun control? Oh, crap. You ready?
About guns and shit,
So I am a proud gun owner, right? I own several guns. And I love my guns. And ain't nobody gonna take them away from me outside my cold dead fingers.
Mm-hmm.
And I really don't care who comes from. Let's look at the fact that there are last that we've heard, there are 390 million guns in the U.S. now. And that's a statistic from a few years back. I get it. But that's the last time they did the big count. 390 million guns in America. Do you know how many of those guns are owned of people of other ethnicities outside of Black?
How much? A lot.
Most of them. That's 390 million because we can't track the illegal stuff that they get on the streets and they're getting direct from Russia, and we can't track that stuff. You know what I mean? So these are people that have went through the system, and now there are 390 guns in America. Now, what people don't realize, and I think as African Americans, we slow on the uptake, right? I understand that the problem is that criminals are criminalizing your right to bear arms, and that's what it is. I can tell you in the state of Virginia, I've never been scared walking down the street, no time of night and nothing. And I'm going to tell you why. Because we are a commonwealth, we have guns, and you don't know who has one.
You're right. Hold up, man.
Regulated states like New York, Maryland, DC, all these other regulated states that oppress Black people from owning weapons to protect their house.
Mm-hmm.
They oppress us. Who got the guns? The cops and the criminals. And sometimes it's one and the same.
That's a good point, though. You're right. You're right. That's crazy.
As Black people, so what's going to happen is you've got the political party they're against gun laws, right? Anti-gun law, anti-gun law, anti-gun law, boom, right? And so you got these people that are anti-gun laws, but those people probably got guns in their own damn houses.
Mm.
And what's going to happen?
But you know they mad because the young kids is getting these.
But they're getting them illegally. What we have to do as a nation, as a group of people that are marginalized,
I'm live right now.
Is we have to go and get these guns before our rights are snatched away from us being able to get them. Because what's going to happen is there's still going to be 390 million guns in America because they're going to let us, those of us who own guns already, hold on to our guns because we're grandfathered in. Mm-hmm. So that means you got. Let me tell you, I'm getting excited. I'm sorry. So you've got people that are teaching their children how to operate guns at the ages of 7. That's when kids usually get their first BB gun or air rifle, and they just grow, right? They get the BB gun, they get the air gun, they get or maybe they get the BB, the air, and then typically they get a rifle, a .22 rifle. They're 9, 10-year-old kids. They sell them at the Walmart. Pay attention, America. So they selling these things at the Walmart, and these other races are going to pick up these guns, and it's typically white people, Caucasians that go to get these guns, right? So they go, they get their guns, they educate, they teach their children how to use guns and things like that, right? We're not doing the same for our kids because we're listening to these people talking about gun violence. You know what? If you had a gun, the criminal wouldn't have broken your house. And if you did, you would have had some protection to protect yourself. So it wouldn't be you gone. It wouldn't be your kid gone. It would have been them gone. And they slowly start to learn. Don't come in here. This ain't for you. I'm sorry. I went on a tangent. Oh, any comment?
But, you know, they shell shot. They're going to check this later. I guarantee. Going to be, but that's crazy. But you're right. You made some good points. But you know, people are pissed off because the guns are getting in the wrong hands somehow, and that's why.
It's not somehow. It's carelessness. It's pure carelessness. If people took responsibility for their actions, and we held them accountable, because I feel like, look, if my kid at 7 years old had went and shot somebody, that was my fault. Because the kid shouldn't have had access to the gun, or the kid should have properly understood about the gun, or the gun should have been locked away.
Hey, Nia, Macy on here live. What's up, Mace?
Hey, what's up, Mace?
What it do? What's happening?
Yeah, you
know what it is.
Hey,
he currently he incarcerated, you know, and Donovan. I know some of y'all been keeping up and knowing what's going on with him. But we talking about guns in America. You know what I'm saying? What you think about that? Like.
Oh yeah.
Even though you can't have a gun.
Ever.
It's kind of fucked up because.
Can y'all hear him?
People
yeah.
that. We're not allowed to have guns, right?
Mm-hmm.
But people without records, they get to have guns, right? But some of them usually turn out to be the biggest criminals than the niggas that got records. because some of the mass shootings that's going on in the world, that's from people without records and shit.
Good point.
That's true. They bought those guns.
Their parents bought those guns.
Yeah. But look at that old dude just shot up the subway system here.
Okay.
If there's going to be guns in America, I mean, there should be stiffer penalties and laws and shit for that shit. But I mean, you know, I think motherfuckers, you know, should be what you call that? Motherfuckers should be responsible.
Exactly.
Perfect.
Accountable.
Perfect. Now I can't say that I agree with everything that my young brother has said. However, people do need to be held accountable. They do. People do need to be held accountable. But let me ask you this: that shooting in the subway, Najuma, if more people had guns in the subway, don't you think somebody would have took him out quicker?
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. That's my reasoning for me owning a gun. I've never wanted a gun until now. And I really want.
People be having guns and don't know how to aim. And then
that's the problem. That's a big problem.
You take them out quicker. No, if they had guns, more people could have died because people don't know how to aim and they've been nervous. Like that's why it's not good for everybody to have a gun.
But it depends on the
laws. That's a big problem.
Because if people were taught proper gun care and usage as they have to in this state, either you have to be in the military. I agree with you. And you either had to have been in the military, so they teach them how to operate guns and fire and stuff like that, right? Or you have to go to a gun class before you purchase the weapon. What is so, and then boom. Because if you learn how to aim properly, look, it ain't the people that have been to the classes that aiming like this.
The issue.
I don't
the issue are the guns landing in the wrong places because they're so accessible. Because the laws are so pro gun.
I think the issue is mental illness.
It's not happening in places that have.
Oh, of course, because we go get the guns from down south. That's why. Because we go get them guns from down south. That's why. And we bring them up here. That's why.
Y'all should be thrown in jail. Shit. If you say us, y'all should be thrown in jail. I agree with that. No, you're not coming in my house and taking none of mine.
Who is this?
Hi.
Hello.
Dutch, how are you?
Hi, Dutch.
I'm good.
Hey, I'm late to the party, y'all. I'm on a different time zone. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
Okay.
We're discussing guns in America and things like that. Nia had a real strong opinion. Milika, real strong opinion. She's ready to fight and knock people out over this situation.
You dead them right? You ain't taking my
Well,
gun.
Okay.
And I got Macy happen to call me. He's in Donovan State Prison. But Nia, what I'm saying is because these laws are so flexible, and that's why there's so many guns in these streets, because dudes just go down south, cop them up, and then it's so easy, like, you know, and then guns are landing in the wrong hands because of these laws.
I agree with that. There has to be some guidance and some changes on that. But from the perspective of guns are bad, no, people are bad. It ain't the gun that climbed up and shot anybody. It's the people whose hands that gun got into.
Yeah.
And if there were more people,
see, back in the day,
would be less inclined to pick up a gun for you right away.
Before you can be able to purchase,
you should
go under a mental health evaluation.
Oh, good point. Before you should be able to purchase.
Mental health is the biggest issue.
Jimmy, you gotta come back in. I don't see.
Under mental health evaluation.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Definitely.
People scared to call up.
People ain't stable enough to have guns. So, like,
exactly.
Guns should always be in the lockbox. Nothing let away from kids. Kids shouldn't be at all able to access a gun at all. So, self-defense laws, I think, should be better because in some states you got the stand your ground law, and then in other states you have no self-defense laws at all. That's what's fucking up everything. guns are a necessary piece of life because it protects
Necessary evil, exactly.
law enforcement can. This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded. The military can do their thing, so it's a necessary thing to have. But as far as all these,
these mass shootings. Hey, check this out.
I rocks with it.
Mm-hmm. We got Jimmy in the house. Jimmy, you hear the topic? You hear what we talking about?
No, bro, I'm sorry. I was trying to get on, but for some reason, the area I went in wouldn't let me on with you friends.
We talking about guns in America. I think the laws are too flexible. That's why a lot of guns are landing in the wrong people's hands. Malika, she thinks, guns, she has a different stance slightly. And
you can go on your mail, on your mail order, and you can actually order plastic guns.
Yeah, you can do that.
The proof of the matter is that my friend did it.
Now, but that's okay. So I don't agree with people being able to go online and order guns and things like that. I
don't agree with anything. I don't think anybody should have a gun, but the fact of the matter is that guns have been around for a long time. They're going to be here. They're infiltrated. There's too much money involved in it. They just arrested a guy in Peru who had over $18 million in assault rifles that were being sold to cartels and people in the Texas area. They were all marked and ready for shipped. So, the DEA, the HSI, and the Customs Border Patrol is doing all they can. But once you defund federal agencies, the ATF, once you defund all these programs that kept these guns off the street, that's why you're having such an influx. Right up the street from my house, there was 2 shootings. A 17-year-old kid and another 22-year-old kid. 3 shots in the leg, 2 in the stomach. The kid needs operations now. He's ruined for life. And another poor women were working in a hair salon, and guys were doing drive-bys. Yeah, the laws are too soft and unprotected and do not protect the general public.
Like May said, I think there needs to be a psychic evaluation of everybody who has a gun. Because then a lot of lives will be saved.
And psychic evaluation for sure. I know back in the day.
Go ahead.
Hey, Mook.
You breaking up. We don't hear you.
Mook, you can say there's a psychic evaluation, but what about the cops that have killed their wives and cops that have killed people right in front of them, in front of a cold store?
But guess what? People lie. Go ahead. What you saying? You want to talk?
Okay, so everybody who owns a gun is
not.
Let's do that first, right? Let's not beat up on everybody that owns a gun.
All
of us are not criminals. That's one. Part 2 is, even if the gun laws are stricter in America, criminals are still going to do what criminals do.
That's true.
So who's going to protect me from the criminals?
We're not talking about. We're not talking.
And
go ahead.
It's good for everybody else to have a gun. Right now, we're moving closer to the point where more criminals.
Okay.
Wait. Let Dutchie say something. Go ahead. What you saying, Dutchie?
All right. So I'm from Texas. I don't know if you guys are aware.
Holy.
I figured y'all want to hear from me, so I am from the state of Texas. We have a particular set and a very unique set of gun laws. I don't know if you guys are aware, we love our guns in Texas. It is a Republican state, okay? Now, I am a gun owner, and I also have a child that is under the age of 10. However, I also have 2 friends, one of which was also a gun owner, whose son sadly shot himself about my son's age, looking, actually he was, the gun was put away. It was not in a lockbox, but the child got curious and decided to look in his father's drawers. Now, I say all to say this. It is a double-edged sword. It is a double-edged sword for many different reasons. And I'll address that. One reason is for some of us, people of color, it's irresponsible for us to not be gun owners responsibly, if that makes any sense. Because of the climate that we live in. I have a husband that is deployed 90% of the time. And because I am from the great state of Texas, there's a motto: the locks on my doors are for your protection, not mine.
Yeah, for sure.
So it has to be responsible. You have to be a responsible gun owner. Not just the responsibility of a gun owner, the responsibility of other gun owners around you. And how
but don't you feel like there could be certain laws and stipulations to make things better, to make sure to try to make it to where you getting the guns in the right hands? I know it's hard to do that, but it could be more restricted to where you don't just need to walk in there with an ID and cop a gun. You know what I mean?
No, I do.
Well, they do a background check too. Let's not say that they don't.
And that's not.
I do agree with that. However, here's where the issue lies. It goes back to a double-edged sword. Where we want laws in place to regulate who is buying these guns, and so they're not getting in the hands of our children, and so they're not getting in the hand of the masses of the crazies and the school shooters. I'll have to think. These school shooters are not getting illegal guns.
Right.
Let's just be real about it. They're not getting illegal guns.
But they're also not getting the education before they got hold of those.
Exactly.
True.
It all depends on what kind of family that they have.
Yeah.
That's true. They're able to walk in. They have a clean record. So they're able to access it.
A lot of times
those guns, like they making the guns, like that ain't even an issue no more now.
Yeah,
that's the crazy part. Somebody said that.
Exactly.
It's a kit. That's all the ghost gun is. It's a kit.
Yeah.
With 3D printers.
Exactly.
That's all you need nowadays. But why did these kids
3D printer? That's all you need.
So let me ask everybody a question, and it might be a very this is going to be a very
hold up, mate. She got a question for us.
This might be an uncomfortable question, but it is a realistic and it is reality. So we have an issue where we have guns and gun violence that is way beyond out of control, right?
Yes.
We also have an assault on minorities that is also way out of control. Now, here's the question that I have to ask you. And when I say minorities, we won't even discuss color. We'll talk about women, a minority. We'll talk about just people that are not in a
about color.
Right. Not necessarily about color. Minorities in general, being a woman, being whatever it is that makes you a smaller group than the larger group here. At what point is it necessary for us to protect ourselves? Do you understand what I'm saying? And you need, because calling the cops is not always an option. It's not always a great option, and it's not always an option. Do you understand what I'm saying? Also,
I totally agree.
Certain environments, do you understand? And this is why I say it's not color. Because you have neighborhoods of many array of colors that feel like they need to protect themselves because of the world's climate right now.
You never know nowadays. You never know who's going to snap. He's Italian. You know, back in the day, it was easy because, it was personal. If you got shot, it was mainly personal. You knew who shot you. You were involved in something you shouldn't have been. Nowadays, it's so random that you have to walk around with some kind of protection. Can I ride the subway in peace anymore? You can't. You have to come up with some kind of protection. It's sad.
What do you think the reason is for that?
It's like they opened up the doors of the mental institutions.
Why do you think the subways are dangerous?
See you, man.
Just going off.
Jimmy, we see crotch.
Huh?
We're looking at Jimmy crotch.
Uh-oh.
Women need to be protected from the crazy men. The LGBT community needs to be protected from those. The Black community needs to be protected from
Exactly.
You have young white kids that need to be protected from those of us that think they're racist. It's a cycle. It's a continuous
Everybody.
from somebody.
It's a cycle. It's within the culture. It's within everyone. Everybody. And within those people, you got folks who just can't deal with the stresses. And they're just snapping, and they have a good background, so they could walk into a gun shop and buy all these, automatic weapons.
You're right.
They got the plan, and they come out.
Okay, all right, Jimmy, what you say about this? Then we're going to listen to Mace, and then we're going to move on to the next topic. What you say, Jimmy? Because you had a question.
Why does everybody think that the gun violence has gotten worse in the last few years? Does anybody have the real reason for it? No, well, I'm going to tell you the real reason. I'm going to tell you the real reason. Okay, the subways are dangerous because de Blasio defunded all the programs that kept all the guns out of the subway. So there's nobody protecting the subway. That's why you have women getting shot and people getting attacked in the street. Over 800 these programs were cut off that protected people from gun violence. There was over 2,300 police officers just in New York City alone that kept us banned from the gun violence. So we decided to, instead of reforming the police, we defunded the police. That's why poor old black women, white women are getting raped and robbed, because these are not in place anymore. That's the main reason, period.
And who defunded them? De
Blasio, absolutely.
Because do you agree, Malika?
And de Blasio is Democrat, Republican? I'm not familiar with New York politics. I apologize.
That's okay. You don't need to apologize. It's not a point of de Blasio was answering the call.
You can't pinpoint the situation like that. It's not that simple.
It is that simple, because once you defund programs.
Mace, what you saying?
Hey, I got a short.
Let me hear Mace. Hold up, yo.
The reason why the police got defunded and all that is because with the police officers, the accident.
That is the other side of it.
No, we took things to a very drastic extreme instead of evaluating and looking into what needed to be done.
I can shoot you.
That's it. There's no other ifs, ands, and buts about it. We jumped into, let's just defund the police because all the morons screamed defund the police. So de Blasio answered all the people that cried, and now there is no police enforcement taking care of these things. Not even with drugs, not even anything. There used to be a patrol that stayed on my corner. Now that patrol is gone, there's nothing but shootings at the corner and people gang fighting and breaking bottles. So, yeah.
Okay. Hold up, Jimmy. Dutchie, what you saying?
But they didn't defund in Virginia, and they're having the same issues out there. So
I understand what you're saying.
It's happening everywhere.
You gotta
everywhere.
Right.
What brought us to the of where
Mace, hold up.
It's everywhere. Whether they defunded the police or not.
San Diego, LA.
The police department.
I have to get a monitor to get the order going on. But hold up, Mace. Wait. Go ahead. Dutchie, what you were saying?
Baltimore. They got
so here's the I understand the portion about defunding the police. But just like everything, there's an alpha and an omega. And you have to go back to the very beginning of why it was a cause to defund the police. And the cause to defund the police is the same reason why Minnesota decided that they needed to burn down their building. I don't disagree because this isn't really the time for that in this particular platform. However, we can't ignore why it started, why they were being defunded, and what took so long for us to get. Now, what happened after that, that's something different. But the cause and effect we cannot ignore the cause and effect of why they were defunded in the first place, and it wasn't just because of hate.
No, that was from people screaming. That was from people complaining.
That were oppressed by the cops.
Well, wait a minute. Then why were they not fighting for reform and re-education? Because police. Why? Because I trained police in hand-to-hand combat, and I also trained federal agents.
How many times
Reform, yes, I want to explain that to you. Instead of people looking at this logically, because now people are in jeopardy and you're complaining about it, we should have evaluated it, and it should have been police reform. Do I agree with you? Hey, let me tell you something. There's good and bad in everybody. But 90% of the police officers out there are not these criminal lowlifes that are doing injustices like
90%. That's a stretch. 90% is a large stretch.
That's a long.
Let me tell you something. 10% is a large stretch. Hey, listen, I know a lot of police that have called in on policemen from doing bad things. And these police,
we're gonna give him his time. Go ahead, Jimmy Mason. Let's give Jimmy his time, and we're gonna move on. Go ahead. What you saying, Jimmy? Go.
We're making a big mistake, and we're looking at this in a completely illogical perspective, period. Yes, let's defund the police because that's the best thing to do. So everybody screams, defund the police. That's what we did. Because all the moron Democrats or whoever they were said, yeah, let's do that. Nobody said, wait a minute. We're going to punish because, yes, that cop that did that to Mr. Floyd was a disgrace. And honestly, I think he should have been put and thrown into the street like Mussolini. That's besides the point. But we are evaluating this in a completely wrong way. Anybody that has screamed defund the police,
keep going on. Land your plane. Keep going, but land the plane though, so we can move on to the next one, to the rebuttal. Go ahead.
Well, look, the bottom line is we have to bring these programs back in that protect innocent people from gun violence. And that was being done. Bloomberg began that in New York, and it worked. The crime was down 74% in 1 year when Bloomberg was in office. And that is the way you control. But to a policeman that does wrong, screw you. Put that bastard in jail, take his pension away, and make him pay. Yes, that's the reform that we need. We're a cop or a rogue cop, and there is not a lot of rogue cops, believe me. I know a lot of them, and they all feel ashamed, and they all want off the job. And these are people that give their own money to help people. We made a big mistake by our screams and our cries in the wrong direction, and that's why we have the problem, period. There's no ifs, ands, and buts about it. And nobody can convince me.
Before this, before we offered the defund, before the whole defund movement, you think there was no problem before that?
The problems were 80% less than they are now. It was controlled.
No, I have to respectfully disagree with you.
As a person,
hey, look, you can disagree all you want, but look at stats. You have to look at stats.
How about the boys still being hung in Mississippi?
Here we go.
22 people still being hung in Mississippi.
Man, you done opened the Pandora's box, brother.
80%.
There's too many cases to even list. There's too many to even
many.
name.
And how many were even recorded? Like
I mean, my father
Rodney King was
my father was
and all those cops got off.
beat by police, and this was in the 40s. Come on.
That's our culture. And
hey,
so,
Jimmy,
yes,
this is not Jimmy. This is not to jump on.
But the
I don't want you to
police
feel
were not set up to assist us.
Jimmy is my good friend. I want y'all to know that.
They weren't set up to assist all. They were set up there to assist.
Yeah, I don't want Jimmy to feel like we're jumping.
No, I'm not attacking.
No, it's no problem.
But
no.
He's my
friend. You know where I live. Luke, you know where I live. I live in a very mixed neighborhood, mainly blacks, Puerto Ricans, and guess what?
But that doesn't mean, Jimmy, sir, respectfully, that you are treated the same way that I would be treated if I was pulled over.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. That's the whole thing of what I'm saying to you. That's the whole thing of what I'm saying to you. Yes, you're right. That's where the police reform comes into play.
But how long are we waiting for police reform?
Wait a minute. I am not fighting with you, and I'm not against you.
No, I'm not fighting with you either.
But I gotta tell you the truth. Guess what? If you cried reform, you're right. If you cried defund.
Oh, and I didn't cry defund. Let's make that very clear.
Jimmy.
Because my husband is a former.
Malika, let's let Mace, he in the can. But I want to hear his point of view right now. My people want to hear it too. Mace, go ahead. What you saying, Mace?
Oh, I'm sorry, Mace.
I agree with the dude, whoever he is. I agree with him.
See, I need it.
She'll pay for that. Feel me? Look, you have 60 seconds remaining.
He done 60 seconds.
I'm a motherfucker that does crime. You feel me? And I accept the time I have to pay to do for the crimes I commit. You feel me? But there's also, there's also the other side of that too. The police ain't always right, bro. The police is
nobody's saying that.
I mean,
yeah, but nobody's saying that. Nobody's saying the police are right. You have to think, but you have to think.
Done in 60 seconds. Wait a minute.
The police, they wasn't always for the people. You feel me? They wasn't for the people. So, like, people that think that defunding the police was wrong, it wasn't wrong. It was for them to fix their way.
Buddy, that's not fixing anything. That's only causing more problems. That's all it is. Reform. The word is reform, buddy. It's not defund. It's reform and repolicize. That's the issue. You defunding the police. I want to tell you what happened to a 96-year-old black woman lived in a neighborhood in Chicago. How do I know this? She never had a problem in her neighborhood because it was patrolled and watched. The minute they wanted to defund that program, that woman was raped and murdered because they didn't have the police force that was there. So you're talking in the wrong direction, my man. It's defund, it's reform, not defund. That's what makes me angry.
Yes, I agree with that.
I think
that's what makes me angry.
But don't get angry.
That woman is dead now. That woman's dead.
And
okay, well, my bro, get at you then. My bro about to get at you. He calling back. You angry? All right, you want to be angry? Go ahead, Nia.
All right, so I think what the problem is there's a lack of trust in certain communities.
Right after Nick Malika.
And that's why they scream for defund. I have to respect those people that scream for defund, even though I was not one of them. Right? I'm not going to say that they made idiot choices. I think that I don't want to downgrade anybody in their opinion because we're all right to have one. In some of these communities, people were being over-policed. Who watches the watchers, right? Who's watching the people that are supposed to be protecting us? And that was part of the problem. And now
that's why reform.
And they went through a total. I mean, it was getting so bad that they were like, just stop it, just cut it off, right? That's how the communities felt. And so, even though that may not have been the smartest choice at the time, we've heard the blessed young kids murdered by the cops. I'm not saying that was the solution. My husband's a former cop, right? That was not the solution. However.
That's why I agree with him with like defund ain't good, but reform, yeah, that's right. I agree with that.
Reform is always.
We all agree with reform.
Hold up, let Dutchie. What Dutchie had to say?
I wanted to make a suggestion that I wanted to get on topic with you guys, but I want to make a suggestion prior to. So, I've done a lot of like group sessions, and I think for everybody to be heard, I think it would just a suggestion. It would probably. I'm not above raising my hand to be acknowledged. I'm not so above that. But I think in order for everybody to get heard, we probably need like a cipher. We probably need like a actual organized cipher.
Yeah, I agree.
To get
everybody to be heard.
Yeah, we're all talking on top of each other, and we're hearing bits and pieces of the other person's point. I heard Jimmy, but I think because we're all invested in some of what's going on, I think he is making some good points, and I think we're making some good points, but I think we're kind of like screaming on top of each other, not screaming, but trying to make our point, so it's kind of taken away from any validity.
You know, we do at this. Yeah, you're right.
You know what I want? You know what I want to see? I want to see everybody live a happy, normal, beautiful life. I don't want to see all my black friends getting stressed out. Yes, and it's true, because I'm not a black man, but I have a lot of black friends, and I've had a black girlfriend. I didn't look at her because she was black. I actually loved her, but just the human being that she is. But yes, there is a discretion that is going on that is pure evil. But if we, by thinking to defund the situation that is protecting us, and again, the right word is reform. Hey, guess what? I have been training police, and I've been training police for the last 8 months on tactical ways to hold a guy. What they're taught is called a choke and hold, because it subdues the person.
I knew you for a long time, and now lately you've been training police. You're taking a different stance, because I knew you for a long time, and your stance wasn't always like that. This is a new stance, and I understand it because you're working with these guys personally and everything else. But at the same time, don't ignore what's going on.
I'm not ignoring that. Well, you're not listening to me. If I was ignoring it, I tell you everybody's wrong. The situation is that it is going on too much, but what do we do about it? The police that I started training and helping now have said to me, why weren't we shown this? I mean, like Jimmy, I'm literally holding a guy in a better position without
going on now. I didn't know that you were working with it.
You know?
I didn't know. Like, now I know what you've been doing. That's great. But now,
I'm sorry.
You know, I work with 2 precincts, and a lot of the police are black gentlemen and Puerto Rican. They're not. A lot of them aren't white. And guess what? They're telling me, hey, it's making it harder for me, but now I have a better stance and control. So it's not.
I wouldn't be mad at my brother if you want to be a cop. I wouldn't give a damn. Be a good dude.
Jimmy, can I ask you a question?
You can't ask me anything.
Nobody said that. Nobody ever said that.
Go ahead, dear.
Are you familiar, or have you spent any time in the South? Not the Southeast, in the actual.
Hold up, mate.
Are you talking about in the South in Florida?
No, that's the Southeast.
Alabama, Mississippi.
Listen, wait a minute. Listen, I want to tell you something.
Wait, before you
now you're talking about a state. You're talking about a state that's just as bad as Mississippi.
But no.
Jimmy, let me ask you the question. Jimmy.
Yeah.
Just give me a second. Right now, I need you. So have you spent any time, a considerable amount of time in the southern region? So let me be specific. In the Mississippi, in the Louisiana, in the Arkansas, in the Tennessee, in the Texas, in Missouri, the Midwest, in the southern states, not Florida. There's a reason why I'm saying this. I have family in Florida. I'm a Texas, Louisiana girl, Florida girl. I'm also from the Caribbean originally. All right. So there's a reason why I'm asking you this. Have you spent a considerable amount of time with any of your black friends or your black girlfriend at any point in life, a considerable amount of time in the South?
Yes, I have.
Okay. So you are aware that lynchings present day in Mississippi have not changed. We have not had an influx or an increase in lynchings. Are you aware of also Texas having some of the largest amount of prisons in the U.S.? Are you also aware that before this became an issue, why we pack up chicken before we go on a drive way back in the 50s and the 40s? Do you know what that is? Because we could not stop. We couldn't stop then. Wait a second. We couldn't stop then, and we can't stop now. Do you understand what I'm saying? This is not an issue that just, it's worse because of the climate now. But let me tell you something. Before this became,
make sure you land your plane, but you let them
before this was ever anything that anybody could go back and say we saw on TV and you got on the phone, there were no cell phones. Do you understand? So we had many. I'm Afro-Latina. So I'm a Black person that speaks Spanish. Do you understand what I'm saying? And when they see me, because when they see me next to a dark-skinned person, I get a person.
Just said they still lynching here in NC, in North Carolina. Christopher L. Shout out.
Hey, can I say something? Can I say something?
To you colorism. When they see
Yes.
me next to a dark-skinned person,
may I say something?
Wait 1 second. We gave you the floor for a little while. 1 second.
Let Jimmy rebuttal. Let Jimmy talk.
I want to answer your question. Have you read Martin Luther King's books?
Martin Luther King. Go ahead.
No, I'm asking you because I study a lot. Martin Luther King.
I'm going to give you an answer that goes against the grain. I am a Malcolm kind of girl. I'm not a Martin kind of girl. And that's just me being upfront with you.
I'm definitely Malcolm.
Malcolm all day.
And
okay.
But my mama was Martin. My parents were Martin Luther King. So I was Malcolm, but I grew up with Martin Luther King because of my parents.
And the reason why I am not, to answer your question, why I'm not a Martin kind of girl or a Malcolm kind of girl, because turning the other cheek ain't really did shit for us. Do you understand what I'm saying? So
I disagree with you, and I want to explain to you why. Okay. First of all, you are dealing with rednecks.
What are you doing?
You're talking about pure rednecks who are bigots. Bigots are uncontrollable people. Texas.
In Boston.
Well, I want to tell you something. My cousin was in the Attica situation when they had the riot there. And I happen to know two of the Black reporters that were there, and they had these bigots, which are all over, not just South. All racist. And you know what they're saying? You're yelling out while they were pointing a gun at my very dear friend. Said, "Nigga, white power." And he looked and he said, "Jimmy," he goes, "I had a gun to my face. He called me the N-word, and then he said white power, and I'm carrying a camera, the box camera, because we didn't have the recorders we had today." He goes, "What the hell did I do?" I said, "You didn't
Why didn't you him in the head?
No, wait a minute.
Wait, Jimmy, I'm going to ask personally.
You're not letting me finish. Do I blame anybody for their rage? Absolutely not, because you know what? They're 100% right. I saw a Black man in Alabama get taken out of a car at a stop in the corner because we were eating at a restaurant. They dragged him out of the car. The guy didn't do anything. He just went through the stop sign. I heard, "Boy, you know what you did, boy?" But then a white guy went through the same stop. They didn't even stop him. I get it. But the only way that you're going to change all this.
There's no rednecks in Boston. There's no rednecks in England.
Who said there's no rednecks in Boston? The rednecks in, guess what? You know what the word redneck means? You know what the word redneck means? And guess what? The N-word doesn't even mean Black people. It happens to mean white trash. Second of all, you don't know what you're talking about because in upstate New York, there's rednecks. There's rednecks all over, dear.
Long Island.
I'll call them rednecks. I'm from the South. We don't necessarily call them
Long Island also. Oh, yeah,
wait a minute, because Christopher L. said
everywhere.
You just wanted to say the N-word in a group of original people.
Yeah, I was about to say
that's what Christopher L. said.
Not with me on the phone, please.
Because you just said the N-word.
No, I'm telling you what I experienced and what I saw. It's a disgrace.
That was your experience, but I kind of feel it was a little disrespectful from my perspective.
He's still my boy, but I'm just telling you what's going on.
And it's just not cool, bro. If you could just say the N-word, I'd be ever so happy.
Well, no, I'm telling you what my friend said. Well, you know what? Look, they just had it on TV.
The whole story, and
the word is not being used in derogatory.
The Black man came to you and said he said the N-word, but you fully used the other word. You said, and I heard
word.
Do you think I was saying that word at anybody? You think I was saying that word at anybody?
I don't
You
care.
think I was meaning that?
No.
Was I
Use
talking
the
in a derogatory
You
way?
getting real
No,
emotional,
That's
Jimmy.
not the point that they're trying. That's not the point that's
It's just a
The
rude
point that's
word,
trying
Jimmy.
to
Just
be
don't
made
use it.
is-
That's all I'm
I'm
asking.
happy you're here,
Use the
Jimmy. I want
N
you to
word,
know.
and I'd be happily fine.
Guess what? Guess what? They just used it on television
Which is a
in
shame,
the
and I
Attica
probably won't watch
situation,
that show
and it's
because of
not
that.
being said.
Hold on, what Pat
Listen,
had something to say.
I
What
don't
you say,
care
you
who
Pat?
says
can't
it.
take
I'm
that out of
asking you.
context.
you
I'm
say?
gonna raise my hand for now.
Jimmy, hold on, everybody. We gotta get some order. What you say, Pat?
In my presence.
I'll wait.
She said something. I thought Pat said something. No? All right, Dutchie, what you got to say?
Jimmy, here's a teaching moment for you, brother. Here's what they're trying to explain to you. It's one thing to listen to what you're saying, whether you know or whether you don't know. But in no situation, under no circumstances, can that word ever be used, even in expressing a story, even in telling it. It's uncouth.
I disagree with you totally. I was explaining what my friend. Well,
here's the
guess
issue.
what? I was explaining what my friend went through.
But that's the
And
problem.
don't say that it's all right for a black person to say that word. If you're not using that word,
I'm gonna absolutely say that because this is where
no, using that word as a suggestion is not applying.
because you feel
It's
like
not applying anything towards a person.
But you cannot.
It's
It does not.
That's bullshit. That's bullshit. No, that's bullshit. I am not saying it. Now you're insulting me. No, wait a minute. Now you're insulting me. No, you're saying I used that word as a suggestion. I didn't use it against anybody. I was making a retaliatory statement to what happened to my friend. And if you don't understand that, too bad.
We get that,
That's
but
rude.
in no circumstances. See, that's privilege. The fact that he got angry and left. The fact that you got angry and left because we are not going to allow that is privilege.
Yeah, you just can't
That's
say it. And he used it. He used it in the context of.
He
He said when he was describing the story from his perspective, they said,
he got emotional.
When he said, my friend came to me and told me what happened and said they used the N word, and it was like, okay, wait a minute.
But
the black dude used the N word. He didn't give you permission either.
Nah, he's not like.
I try to tell him.
No, I'm not saying he's racist. I'm just
Yeah.
asking him not to use the word with me.
Well, I'm just trying to show him
He's not racist.
and
Show me. What the fuck is he saying?
that
they're so wrong.
In order for us to understand you, you can't get emotional.
Come back.
It looks bad when you get emotional. Do we think he's a racist? No. But does it look bad when you get emotional and you can't handle? You see?
Trust me. Look, low key. Look, somebody said clown. Low key said he a clown. Come on, Jimmy. You better come back.
Yeah, come on.
I don't like this.
You know,
He's my boy. I know him a long time. I know him over 10 years. We made a lot of money together and everything else.
No, we don't want him.
We don't want him to feel no type of way. We just don't want him to use the word on the show. He can say it outside. And look, I would prefer he not use it at all, but he didn't understand my point. We're trying to help Jimmy out because eventually one day somebody gonna punch him in the face.
Right now, Jimmy felt entitled. I don't like the fact that he felt entitled to be able to use it. If we're telling you, if you have 10 to 1,
I told him, you
can't do that, bro. Under no
circumstances. Please don't do that.
Yo, this is good, yo. We gotta
and tell me, fuck you. I can say what I want to. Then that's still a fuck you to me. No matter how not racist you are.
And then
you hung up.
And then you get mad.
You don't come back. I gotta reevaluate some things. He better come back.
I think he intentionally hung up, and maybe he needed a timeout, and that's okay. Sometimes we need a timeout. So I'm not judging Jimmy. I'd love to see him back on the show. That would be awesome. But yeah, he just needs to use that word. I don't feel.
No, don't feel emotional. When you're trying to teach him a little something. Don't get so emotional.
Exactly what you're talking about. You know, we went through this, but I know his heart, you know what I mean, and everything else, but that's another subject. That was some bullshit. He got.
Well, a lot of white folks feel like he do. And, you know,
guess what?
I hate the word. It always made me cringe.
Yeah,
when y'all used to say it trying to rap, I would cringe. I hate the word. Always have. I'm happy to see that we're not allowing it anymore.
In a room full of people of color,
you can't do
that. Not only can you not say it, especially if not one of us has used it in the entire time that we've been on this podcast.
Okay, Low-Key. Low-Key said he shouldn't say that word his understanding of the word isn't satisfactory.
It isn't.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree. Because I didn't.
It
look,
makes
the
me
first time you
cringe.
say the word colonizer, everybody
it's
wants to
not
go
cool.
Okay, but that the gun
I don't even like to hear my own people use it. So.
The gun subject was going to take us to the baby, and the baby, the murder case he caught back in the day in Walmart. New footage came out to where they showed that the baby attacked him. I'm sorry, it came out, so I'm not whatever. The footage is there. He attacked him first, started whooping his ass, and going for a gun. I don't know. This is all alleged, but dude was going for his gun, and then the baby ended up. I'm looking at my mom the whole time. That's why my eyes is going because she's down here on the camera. And that's why the baby got his gun first allegedly and shot him and killed him. And then, but the footage shows after the killing, he walked away and he was just real aggressive. He pushed the cart away. He's like, yeah, talking shit, whatever. And people are saying, yeah, he's a murderer. They like, it wasn't self-defense. It was like he's a murderer. And then he got another case. Nia, you know something about his new, at the video shoot?
I know about all his cases.
They charging him for a felony right now, another felony assault.
Jeez.
But you have to look at violence does seem to follow him everywhere he goes. I mean, be it that it's in self-defense or not self-defense, violence is following him. And now you have to ask yourself one thing. What is always in any situation, what is the one consistent thing? And he is the only thing that is
the only consistent. Yeah,
and
that's the common denominator.
At the bowling ring and everything else, he didn't have to do that. He feel like he wanted. I mean, but the thing is, he did a lot of crimes that cause you to go up top. You know, the place and that nobody want to go. Nobody really want to go, but he never been there yet. So it's like, okay, that's why you. Yeah, exactly. That's interesting because it's like you acting like you're really about that. Like, there's consequences, homie, and now I don't know, like honestly, because he is about that. Obviously, he killed the kid. He killed them. And he did other things too. So, but the consequences, I don't think he's weighing it out. And it's
I think there's a difference between somebody being about that life and somebody feeling superior. Some shit.
Yeah,
I think he's gotten away with this shit so much that he's feeling himself.
Yeah.
The problem is he hasn't really ran into the right person. That's what I think. He hasn't ran into the right person that would actually tear a hole in his ass. And gonna ask questions later.
I ain't gonna lie, I ain't about that shit. I don't give a fuck. He been doing this thing. He been handling this shit, and he been doing this thing. But it's like when them people come, he facing some shit. If you facing a murder, if you in trial for murder, like nah, you gotta be smart, homie. You gotta be like, okay, all the other stupid shit, let the homies do that. I'm not doing that. Come on, man.
Okay.
Right.
Do we know? I mean, it's just, yeah. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interject.
You didn't see the bowling alley thing? You didn't see when he went and booked that dude? And then the new thing and all this, like he tripping because he still got the murder over his head.
Was with his baby's mother, Danny Lane.
Yeah. Yep.
The brother.
Oh yeah.
So here's a little backstory. So the brother was upset for whatever reasons, having to do with their family history, having to do with his sister, blah, blah, blah. So he openly challenged him to a paid boxing match and said that when they saw each other, it was on site. So that's the introduction to that. This is the brother Brandon Bills. Now, they see each other at a bowling alley. Now, here's the thing about it. If you guys go back and look at this footage, there was a thing where he just got into it with his artist. And the same thing happened at the bowling alley. The baby didn't whoop Brandon Bills' ass. His security did. On a slippery ass lane. On a slippery ass bowling lane. That's one. Two, when he attacked his artist. The thing that's circulating is half of the clip where he attacked his artist. There's only a few clips circulating.
Christopher, you come and see?
Where his artist actually was about to put hands on the baby. Everybody's not going to be scared of that dude.
Somebody from NC, Christopher,
right,
said the baby is tricking the youth into prison farms, bro. He's being allowed to do this BS. He's not representing us. in NC for anything positive. We tired of him. That's what Christopher said. I respect my people. You feel me? I respect them.
I definitely respect that point of view. I
Yeah,
mean,
that
really,
point of view is all on game.
I mean, he's a good father, but how many children have, how many women? Your images that you're putting out for your children.
What you done? Go ahead. Sorry. Say that again. Your image. What you say about his image?
I mean,
so are you rolling that?
I am. Here's the thing. He has the image of being a good dad because he's always doing things for his kids and he's not hiding his children. But here's another problem with that. You have a daughter, okay? The internet is forever. The way that you speak to her mother. I mean, this is a grown-ass man that walked around North Carolina with a fucking diaper on.
Yeah,
you understand?
You're right. For the clout.
For clout. And the imagery that our youth is seeing. Here's the thing. Everybody's glorifying the fact that, hey, he don't take no shit. Hey, he about that life. I mean, shit, I got a gun too. Shit, I'll shoot a motherfucker for walking up in here. I mean, where do you feel? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like, shit, where do you feel special at? And this is the shit that you're portraying to everybody else that this is the life. They ain't stopped making guns when they made that nigga.
Yeah, and they not gonna stop.
Definitely. All right. Yep, Malika, you're right. Mace, what you say? You low as hell. Never mind. What you say? You hear the subject? All right, he going. But yeah, like that the baby situation, he facing some real shit. And
I mean, it may be time for him to do his time. Maybe he need to be in jail so we know what he's really like, so he won't go back.
I mean, he's definitely everything that has happened with him. He has definitely skated from any sort of jail time. Every time, it's never been, whatever happened. Now, I'm not gonna go out on a limb and say, dude, is just outright out here on fuckery because I wasn't there. I can't say. We're all speculating at this point. All of this is through the lens of social media and whatever. And we know how accurate media itself is. However, again, he is the only constant in all of this.
In all of this drama. Yeah.
You're right. He's the dominant factor in this whole drama. So yeah,
I'm sorry. When we even started talking about the subject, but I didn't even associate the baby with what the Dutch had told me once before. You know what I mean? And she had told me about that incident where you had that girl sitting on that chair crying and stuff in the middle of the night, can't go nowhere. You know what I mean? Some type of crime.
Basically, what you saying? You saying kidnapping?
You remember that? When
hell no, I don't do that shit.
No. So
Come
far,
on, y'all need to like 13 people in.
We know he slapped a woman in public. We know he's put his.
I didn't like that at all. I was disgusted by that.
Yeah, he slapped a woman in public.
We know what Low-Key say? He's a person that I wouldn't fuck with personally. But,
no, I can hang with him.
So when you say about that life, don't forget to include that he slaps women in public. So what do you mean? What does that mean?
Low-Key said, I agree. He probably going to have to see what it's like to lose his freedom or something else to see the error in his ways.
Yeah, he's going to have to figure it out.
I think you're right, Low-Key. For real.
Yeah,
that's crazy, man.
I am not opposed to brothers getting a pass every blue moon. Because we need one. But this fool has just gone loco.
You got people to do the little beat ups and whatever you need to do. But you want to be that dude.
You want to be that dude. So go.
Well, what they could do is rack up all that stuff and then give him some serious time. To me, it's like he just adding to his time, his own time. They'll take all that and ain't no getting out.
Very talented brother and everything else.
And he's living his life on social media. You know what I mean? It would be different if you kept it hidden in private, but you getting on camera.
No, they can't do that. They're stupid for that.
That's the problem.
Like, you need to get your life together, bro. For real, because it's just sad. It's a very sad. And you're a dad, man, of a girl. Like, you want your child to see this is impacting her self-esteem.
It really is.
That girl's going to grow up thinking that it's okay to be pounded on by some dude.
The baby has perpetuated the exact stereotype that we have been trying to get rid of for Black men.
Big fact.
Yes.
He has perpetuated the multiple baby mothers, not two, because you know, two you can get away with. You understand things happen, life happens.
Right.
That's not really so much of a big deal.
Right.
But you have three unwed mothers.
Right.
You have 3 children.
Three.
You have violence
That's
that
crazy.
happens to you.
I didn't think about that.
You hit
Yeah.
a woman. So you look at 3 baby mothers, the violence, the hitting a woman. You have now become the exact fucking stereotype that we have fought so hard to get the fuck away from.
Here we go. Christopher says it might be time for him to do another blood sacrifice. He crazy. He said Bullite after that. I don't know what he's talking about. But
yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
The baby ain't big enough to do no Illuminati shit, brother.
The baby big. Don't get it fucked up. That boy big.
How big is
Don't
he?
get it messed up. Pause or whatever. No homo. He ain't no small artist. Don't get that fucked up. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
So I guess the message should be for all women: if you want to be involved in something with one of these celebrities, go take some self-defense classes so you can protect yourself.
Well, you got to remember, Hollywood is Hollyweird.
Hollyweird is crazy.
Yeah, Hollywood is Hollyweird. You know, so.
One of the first topics we talked about was freaking Trey Songz and his issues.
Oh man, I hate that I missed that.
Yeah.
So I just say I'm in love with Trey Songz.
Same here, but
I was one of those people that I'd have to admit, one of those people, I didn't believe it. I was one of those women that was like, nah, get the fuck out here. Nah, they're lying. You know.
Yeah, and Pat defended.
Hey man, monikers.
I mean, Trey is a young R. Kelly.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's funny. I think somebody told Moo that or Bull that when we were talking about the thing on when we were talking about our subjects. Somebody had mentioned that to him. I think that was part of his subject.
I think Trey might be worse than R. Kelly though, and I'm gonna tell you why. R. Kelly was a creation of our own.
Hold up, my homie here. Oh shit, my boy Colin. What up?
Hey.
Yeah, you missed out. We had a good ass show. We but that's what's up though. You all right? I don't think
I think we created R. Kelly. I think that's why Trey Songz is worse.
Yeah.
I think we cultivated R. Kelly is cultivated and homegrown. And that's why R. Kelly was a problem that we ignored. See, that's why I think Trey Songz is worse. See, now that people are realizing what Trey is doing, they're not trying to sit on it. We sat on that shit with R. Kelly for years.
Years. There was a video released of this Negro.
Hold on, we got to call it. We got to call. Hold up. Let's see. We sat on, you're right. We sat on that shit for years, and that's the crazy part. We let that shit slide for that long.
Yeah.
It's in the garage.
I mean, because the man made good music, and all people are human, right?
Well, separate the man from the problem.
That's the problem.
It's separating a person from their artistry. If you don't know how to separate a person from their artistry, then you tend to allow certain shit to go on.
Exactly.
And that was the problem with R. Kelly.
Yo, Colin, you ain't hear about this Trey Songz shit? All these broads accusing him of all kind of crazy shit, pissing on him, and then the other broad accused him of ripping off her bra, titties out at the damn video shoot, different shit like that. She won $5 million. You ain't hear about that?
Hell no, that's crazy. What the hell is wrong with him, man?
What you think about that?
You out here getting girls and you out here doing kind of bullshit right now.
Yo, nah, but like, what you think? Like, is he the next? Somebody compared him to R. Kelly. That ain't. That, I don't think that's level out. R. Kelly had no girl, 14-year-old.
He next in line. Like that. He next in line. I mean, R. Kelly was doing the kid messing around with the kids and shit, but come on, man.
I think that is the difference that R. Kelly with the underage girls. I think
that was out of
line. Yes. But R. Kelly was messing with the little boys too. Now it's came
out.
Oh my God! I didn't hear about that shit. Hold up, we got people. We got.
I know the girls.
Let the call.
Let's go.
Bull.
I didn't hear about nobody messing with boys. I didn't hear about him
about
messing
the
with
boys
boys.
Oh
part
yeah,
either.
look in the transcript.
My
Look in the
battery is always
transcript.
low.
That is
Greetings,
crazy.
California.
Wow.
You can work with that G-Mod.
I'm sorry.
You can
Hey,
Call back whoever
Cassandra.
called.
my
Because
phone. You don't need your phone.
I pressed the wrong button.
Hello, welcome. Thanks for
We
joining
need
us.
California here because we're going to talk about health. There's two laws and a certain thing that you need. Because all this bullshit going on in the world, you need some good sea moss and some good, crystals and
Oh, yeah.
vibrations. Right,
Yes.
you feel me?
Yes.
California, she out
Yeah,
it, and then you see
and we
the logo
also
up on the
need.
screen.
Yeah, we
Sorry,
also.
but that logo up on the screen, cannabis culture. Yeah, that's where you gotta look out for that. That's big things coming. But go ahead,
Oh,
California.
yeah. Cannabis
Yeah,
culture, got
and
the honey.
I'll be
yeah.
tagging cannabis culture on my page also to make sure that they get a and all that other stuff. So y'all please.
California, what you got for us? What you got for us?
Yeah, well, the thing of it is I just joined and I can't stay too long. I'm not far from my house. So if you're still on, I will come in. But what I would like to say is we must not allow the algorithms to dictate our thoughts. And we must not base our lives on the Hollywood housewives and love and hip hop and all of that because that's not really real.
You don't like my topics? That's what you're saying? You don't like my topics?
No, I love your topics.
Come on, let's be real.
I love them.
Let's go. Come on.
I love your topics, man. They're real. You know what I'm saying? They're very, very real.
We gotta maybe instead of our own. You feel me? We gotta watch them and talk about them, and they gonna see it. We gotta, you gotta criticize if they're not righteous. We talk about them. Fuck it. That's what we do here.
I love the Muta. I love the Discord. You know what I'm saying? Because
I'm Bullite. I don't know who Muta is.
The thing of it is that you gotta have contrast.
Captain bust out himself.
I knew you was gonna laugh at that. Go for you. Go ahead. You're right.
Shirt, man.
You're right.
Shirt. You see, I'm repping. I caught mine.
Look at her. She out there chilling.
Okay, listen.
Go.
I don't have a lot of battery time. Okay.
Okay.
So I came in late to your live stream, and just tell me briefly what the topic is about.
Man, come on. We had several topics. We ran through it. Malika produced it, and it all went down in chronological order.
Okay. So what is this topic that you're in now?
Guns in America.
What are you talking about right now in this present moment?
I disagree with Malika.
About the baby a little bit.
Yeah.
The topics that we had covered earlier were Trey Songz, as bad as R. Kelly. So we had come back to Trey Songz just now. We were talking about some of the things that he was doing and how he was being disrespectful to women, and if he was the new R. Kelly.
Oh well, the thing of it is that some of our women are being disrespectful to themselves too because they think they can undress. Hold on, let me finish.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, that's what we're saying. Like, it's bringing.
No, punch them in the face.
But can I finish
real quick?
I'm sorry, California. It was just a bombshell. Go.
Yeah, if you have to mute some people, you could do that so I could say what I need to say.
I gotta mute myself. All right, go ahead, go.
Okay, so I'm just saying, we as women, divine feminine that brings forth the male, divine masculine, we have to be checking ourselves, to see, who are we following? Are we following, the hip hop video, not the hip hop, the rap video models and how they're dressing and everything to think that we can get the bag that way. You know what I'm saying? And we just have to have a little bit more self-respect because I see people from other cultures, young women, and they don't be all out there. I don't see it in other genres. You know what I mean? That we think that we have to undress and rum shaking and all that.
She deserved to get her titties pulled out in public. She was out there to that point because that's what he did, and that's what the latest thing is. And also he, all the other stuff you heard about, but the chief suing him for $5 million. He pulled her titties out in front of everybody and then ran off and said some other stuff and they did it several times. So you think because she was out there, how is she out there to where she deserved that? Is what I want to know.
No, well, nobody deserves to be disrespectful, but that starts with the self first. That starts with you first. That's why we can't have the algorithms dictating how we're supposed to be dressing and everything. We should be more self-respecting. And what you put out is what you're going to get back in too, because it's the law of attraction. It's an action world.
But we're also getting that. So that means, does the chicken come before the egg? Because now the question is, who's disrespecting who first for a reaction? Because we can go with that, but they say.
But when you come to physically touching somebody and stuff like that, that's another level. That's like no.
Yeah, and the thing of it is that hold on, the thing of it is we need to stop putting artists on pedestals. What the fuck?
They're regular.
They're not really doing anything for the communities. I mean, maybe they might be doing it on the DL.
That's a big problem with us. That's a big problem. That's a huge problem.
We don't give back to our
the talent we put that. Yeah, just because they talented don't mean they. You know what I mean? And we tend to follow. Yeah, you're right. That's a big problem.
I don't think it's new. It started with us being kids, our parents seeing the magazines and the weekly Us magazine and the Inquiring Minds.
That's what I'm saying. You're taking the power out of your hands and giving it to somebody else.
They graduated from the newsstands to these little devices that we're looking at right now. It graduated from all of that. So it's always been. It's just now we can actually look into a window of their lives and they post everything about themselves.
They do.
People now have
nothing better
than to look at
brothers and sisters, this is a very beautiful, beautiful topic. And what I have to do is I have to go and recharge my battery at the base. I'm not far from the base. And if you're still on, I would still like to be a part of this conversation because it's very, very vital in these times. We're allowing other people to dictate how we should behave. That's not good.
We had a great show, and we're going to end it.
Huh? I didn't hear what you said.
So
we had a great show. This will end. Mia, go ahead. End it off.
All right. So what I was going to say is that this is a weekly show.
And then talk about the honey too.
You guys come back and join us again next week.
Okay.
Every week, Sunday at 3:00. Come to the channel. Invite your friends.
Yeah, and also,
that was fun.
Can I just say something? And also, I'm on a very beautiful crypto space. And if you're interested in being in a safe space where your money works for you and you're not working for your money, just DM me. I'm Kafunya Star Rebel on Instagram, and I'm out.
Yes,
nice meeting you.
Very nice meeting you.
I love her energy.
All right.
Oh man, I love her family for years. Yeah, I love her. Does everybody want to do a round robin of their Instagrams or anything like that? Let's go with the Dutch.
Mine is Her Majesty _King with a Q Dutch.
Awesome. Pat or Najuma?
Okay.
She probably.
I don't know what happened, but I lost y'all.
No, we still here. I hear you fine. And I see you right there.
Nia, I'm just seeing your text. Yes, baby girl, he did.
You a mess. You a mess. All right, C-Mac, how about your address?
I don't have any Instagram, no socials for me. I'm in the
Hey man, I don't stay off the grid, brother. Stay off the grid. And I am the at Instagram. Bull.
You already know Crash on _1000. And and we done. It was a great show. Had a lot of fun. Shout out to all my peoples, everybody. you know, I know y'all was out there, and we'll see in the views and leave comments on the thing. Your boy Bullite. And you know, and what's the thing, Nia? Cannabis culture. Y'all want to hear a lot about that.
Yeah. Check us out on Instagram. I'll talk more about it next week.
That's
that's the honey. How is the honey?
I don't have mine in front of me, but
we ended